Namaskar. Good morning. I'm Kate, the Greenie Yogini. Thank you for joining me. Today we're starting part 2 on pratyahara or concentration in meditation. So the question comes, how do we concentrate? And yes, we withdraw the mind through visualization and in meditation often concentrating on a mantra or a sound with a meaning. So if the mantra has no meaning, it's the same as sitting and saying Coca-Cola or any other kind of sound, it won't change the vibration of our thoughts, because as we think, so our mind takes that thought or that vibration. If we're thinking, we're saying words over and over, and sometimes we do this. We say a prayer or a sutra or a mantra, and we don't know what the meaning of it is. So just by saying the sounds over and over without any ideation or any concept, it's the same as sitting listening to yourself and doing an automatic task like brushing our teeth. When we brush our teeth, we don't sit and think deeply about what the feeling or the taste of the toothpaste is or the way that the brush is going up and down in our mouth. We do it automatically. So this is the problem with repeating mantras or prayers that we've gotten used to from our childhood, or something that we do every day. It becomes a habit, and although it's not a bad habit, it might not give us the result that we're looking for. So the idea is to focus the mind once we've withdrawn the mind through visualization, which I've taught you already and we'll do again today. Once we've withdrawn the mind through that visualization, then we're starting to focus it on a thought, and the thought is held inside a sound. So the best sounds that we know are Sanskrit sounds. As far as meditation goes, they resonate inside the body, and we'll talk about that another time. Then the sound needs to have an idea, and the idea needs to be the most expanded idea that we can come across. And this is where the mind begins to grapple. How can I think bigger than my usual thoughts? How can I think of something that is larger, more positive, something that permeates all of myself, permeates all of my life and the life of everything and everyone that I know? How can I think into the universe and beyond, or into an atom and further in, when my mind is only able to see and perceive the limit that it has? So pratyahara takes us to that point where we begin to ask those deep questions. What am I thinking? Why do I think? Why am I here? Why do I have a mind? What's the purpose of my life? But more than that, what's the purpose of even my thoughts? Ultimately, what's even the purpose of the very breath that keeps the thoughts, that keeps the person alive? Where did all of this come from? Who generated this complex machine that I now live inside of, that I call myself? So these deep, deep questions start to evolve when we withdraw our mind from all of the petty, usual small thoughts. So let's start with a very simple, basic thought that most children ask their parents at a certain stage. Why am I here? Where did I come from? And in the busyness of our days, we often forget to ask these questions. But when we're meditating, we're given the opportunity to really consider this deeply. And it's not a Zen koan, which means what is the sound of one hand clapping. It's not a way to trick the mind into expanding or into tangling itself up, that it finally relaxes or releases from confusion. The idea of a mantra is to go very deeply into the concept of something spiritual. And spiritual can't be, and it will not be, something outside of ourselves. whether rationally thinking if there's a ghost, a holy ghost, or a great man sitting in the sky looking down on us all, which are very, very old concepts. Now with science, we know that in space there is no great man sitting out there above the clouds. It looks like a Monty Python kind of thought for those of you who grew up in the 70s. So what is it that generates the universe and gives me a place inside it? Then suddenly our mind is starting to grapple with something much, much bigger than ourselves, something bigger than our intellect, something greater than our discovery, something that's in some sense with us every single moment, because it enables us to breathe and to think and to communicate and to express ourselves. Once that breath is taken, once that heartbeat stops, then there's no movement, there's no more self-expression. So whatever that is generating this flow of life and existence, that is what the mantra starts to focus on. And the mantra we use, Baba Nam Kevalam, everything is, in very simple terms, love. In actual Sanskrit, the word Baba comes from a very old Sanskrit word meaning Bapra. Bapra meant a term of endearment beyond mother, father, Sherry, my darling, a term of deep, deep, deep self-awareness and love, and awareness of that existing in everything. That was the word for Baba. Eventually it became my grandmother, my father, my little child in many different cultures. In some cultures, Baba means my dear aunt. But the original concept of Baba, it meant that most endearing, ongoing, almost breath, heartbeat, energy that is always available to me. That is Baba. And always available to me in a way that is, we say love, a way that is unconditional. When I approach it, it approaches me. And the way that I approach it also generates the way that it approaches me. If I approach with shame, guilt, fear, and I'm too afraid to look, then it cannot break through our self-centeredness. It has to wait patiently. When I approach it with devotion, with gratitude, with an open heart and an open mind, that Bapra or Baba, when I look deeply for it in every single moment, then it's like its magic is allowed to be revealed to us, and it can play with us, and it can dance with us through the day, through life. And it's like, it can be like, when we approach it like a dear lover, one who wants to dance and sing and rejoice in that relationship, then some form of magic starts to happen. It's like the sun begins to shine in a way it's never shone before. My heart begins to sing and another voice joins it, and the two of us sing together. The bird's call suddenly becomes very sweet. This is the concept of Baba. Nam means the name or the identity of that. I bring you to life when I name you. If I sit here anonymously, yes, I'm another person speaking. As soon as I say I'm Kate and qualify that, I'm the greenie, yogini, which means there's a whole concept inside of that. And originally our names all had meanings. So I now ascribe a meaning to my name, Kate. But once upon a time, every single name was like a mantra in itself. And those of you who have acquired spiritual names, when we say our spiritual name, we're saying it with the meaning behind it. For example, my husband's name, Modhu. Modhu means that sweetness of divinity. My daughter's name, Rashmi. In Sanskrit, the word Rashmi means divine light. So when we call each other by our Sanskrit names, we're identifying the mantra that is that person. And so to name that absolute, that cosmic mind with the name Baba means that we're calling that into ourselves. We're recognizing that existing. And where does it exist? It exists inside Kevalam. And Kevalam means absolutely, and it goes beyond absolute. It means without qualification, existing through all time and all space. We can say infinity, ultimate. In some languages, we might say heaven or nirvana. It is Kevalam is the word that means unconditionally eternity. So Baba Nam Kevalam means I am calling, I am naming that absolute love through all eternity, through every cell of my being, through every particle around me, through all space and all time beyond this vast, vast, vast universe. My father, who died recently, he drove me to the airport. It was our last time of being together. And we'd had a small tussle in the morning, and I got in the car with him. It was about me painting a wall before we got on the aeroplane. And he got frustrated with me because it felt like he was going to be late and he couldn't get to the bathroom. And there was stuff going on in the house. And he was a little bit nervous to be saying goodbye too. I think he knew perhaps that it was the last time we'd be together. Anyway, I got in the car and I started singing just gently. He was sitting next to me. And in the back seat was my mum and my husband, Madhu. And to change the feeling, inside myself as well as with him, I sang the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam. So I was sitting next to him singing Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam. Anyway, my father loves to sing, so he started joining me. And then after a few minutes, he got the vibration of what I was singing. And he and I used to speak a lot about the universe and stars, as well as our minds and our cells. Dad was a cosmologist and a scientist. And he caught the vibration of what was going on inside of me. Like, Dad, we are beyond the tussle. We are beyond this time, even if it's our last time together driving to the airport. And he looked at me just briefly and he said, Baba Nam Kevalam, it is a lovely sound. And that's one of the last things my father said to me. And it means a lot to me because he wasn't involved in my spiritual path. We had his funeral at a Christian chapel. But somehow the recognition that he and I go beyond our religion, our thinking, our small tussles, that he and I go into a space that's connected to the universe, and that such a simple mantra can connect us both to that. Of course, it warmed my heart deeply, deeply. And I love to think that that's one of my last moments with my father. And I think that is the essence of a mantra. Whichever mantra you like, as I said, we use Baba Nam Kevalam, a universal mantra. But whatever it is that calls that which you are seeking to focus on, when we want to lift ourselves out of our daily life, concentrate our mind, withdraw from the usual thinking, which is quite often negative self-talk, and break into another way of thinking, of existing. Use a mantra, use a sound, use a prayer, and don't say it habitually. Think deeply, deeply, deeply on its meaning. And that is our ticket to begin that spiritual journey, to begin that expansion of mind that all of us seek. So let's sing that mantra together now. Do a few moments meditation. Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba. Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba. Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam. So just for today, closing our eyes, back up straight. Imagine yourself to be seated upon that high mountain. Family and friends are far below. And imagine that universe that extends through space and time is permeated by the concept, by the thought of Baba Nam Kevalam. Only the name of that which is most dear to me exists. I am calling the name of my beloved through time and space, through eternity and absolutely. And begin to contemplate deeply the thought Baba Nam Kevalam. Only that love, only that oneness. And as the mantra unfolds inside ourselves, let us merge and dissolve our every thought into the sound and the vibration of that mantra internally. Baba Nam Kevalam. Sitting silently in contemplation, allowing the mind to latch onto only the thought of that which is most dear, the essence of my existence through all of eternity. Baba Nam Kevalam. And we'll finish our meditation with a song. Quiet place deep inside of me. Feel the love all around me. I've never been alone since I've known there's a place where I can go, where love is all around. Since I've found how to hear that sweetest sound. Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevalam. Love is everywhere, love is everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm Kate, the Greenie Yogini. I'll see you again tomorrow with more on pratyahara, withdrawal of the mind, helping us with concentration. Namaskar.